So how are tariffs playing out on companies? Well, part of the goal is to get more manufacturing in the U.S. So let's follow sort of the breadcrumbs and see what happens, especially as it relates to this news around how it's affected automotive companies in terms of real dollars. So first, we made a significant corporate tax cut. Now, many companies have already declared how they're going to invest those dollars. They know that's the intent, and even if it's for show, they're going to start investing those dollars. And that certainly applies to both manufacturers and service companies. So if we start seeing, for example, telecommunications companies are looking at investing dollars. Now, manufacturers, however, they're the ones often paying tariffs. So that ends up being a new tax, in other ways, replacing the old one. Now, we've been sort of vague as we talk about tariffs as a tax on Americans because that's 100% true, but fundamentally it's the importing company paying for, even if you're making cars in the US, just sticking with the automotive example right here, you're paying for copper, for steel, for aluminum, for parts, for all sorts of things, right? And so those tariffs are hitting the bottom line in a big way. Sort of three ways you can deal with that as an automotive company, just sticking with them as the example. Pass it on to customers. Now, many companies are going to do that. They're going to at least do it in portion. That's going to lead to inflation. It hasn't hit yet because not a lot of the tariffs have hit the companies yet. Second, and as part of that is some of these companies, it's hard to pass on price increases. Cars are already pretty expensive. Hard to pass on price increases there. So if you're not going to pass on price increases, you have to cut expenses one of two ways. One, personnel, right? Reduce payroll, layoffs, RIFs, or wage suppression. Or third, reduce investment, which of course the whole goal is for manufacturers to invest and start to build stuff, more stuff here in the US. But it's going to be hard to find the dollars to make those investments if tariffs are taxing those companies. So here we see it's starting to show up on the bottom line. Lots of chapters left in this book. We don't know how this book ends, but some of the chapters are starting to be written right here.